Hello guys. I've been seeing a few playthroughs on Frieza's channel where he does Little Locks, which is basically just a Nuzlocke hardcore style, but you don't evolve your Pokemon. You obviously can't use Pokemon like Sock, Throw, etc. that have a single stage evolution. I wanted to beat him to Pokemon Black, but at the same time, I don't actually enjoy restarting portions of the game and playing them over again just because I screwed up and made a mistake somewhere further on. So I'll still be playing hardcore style, but if I run into any issues or make a mistake with any trainers other than the gym leaders or the big fights that I'll highlight with the main evil team, then I'm just gonna ignore that. I'm just trying to see if this is actually possible to do. So let's jump right in. So I decided to pick Oshawott, but pretty much the only reason why I wanted to pick Oshawott is because it gets access to Aqua Jet, Encore, and Swords Dance, which are a bunch of pretty cool moves. There's nothing really that breathtaking about any of the starter stats. The Pokemon that are usually the best in these playthroughs are always the glass cannon type Pokemon, or Pokemon that have a few skewed stats that match those of a final evolved Pokemon. You can kind of mix and match them together on your team to create one final evolution in a way. So through the course of the playthrough, this didn't really matter too much anyway. I think I should have chose Tepig in the end actually, but yeah, in the long run it doesn't really matter too much. Moving on, my Route 1 encounter is a Patrat, Route 2 is a Lillipup, and there's 2 encounters in the Dream Yard, but I can only get one. I decided to go with the Element Monkey though, which was a really good choice. This does forego Munna for the rest of the game, which is kind of tanky, especially with Eviolite. But a Yamask in the future eventually just fills this role anyway, so I don't see any need to get Munna. Fighting Cylon was super easy. I pretty much just played Pokemon against him for his first Pokemon, and then when his Pansage came out, I just counter it with Pansear. Not much to say here, so let's move on. I get Blitzel as my Route 3 encounter, and a Roggenrola would be really sexy for the second gym, but I end up just getting a Woobat, so we'll do that instead. I can then use Repels in Pinwheel Forest to give me a higher chance of getting a Timber, and I do, which is very nice for that second gym battle. Alright, let's do this. Let's take on Lenora. I lead with Lillipup here, and the goal is only to do 30% health to the Herdier before a switch. I know Lillipup is dead to a takedown critical hit, but that doesn't really matter to me. The tackle is only going to do 15 to 20%, and any takedown recoil is definitely going to put Herdier in the range that I want it to be. So after Lillipup takes a hit, I'm going to go directly into Woobat, sack it. Then when I go into Blitzel here, I need to do a few things before Herdier goes away. I'm going to paralyze it to make the Timber faster than it when it comes in. And if the Herdier decides to keep using takedowns and put itself in potion range, which it does, then all I have to do is lower its defense by 2, so I can ensure a kill with the Timber that comes out. Once Blitzel's gone, Timber can come right back in, finish it off with a Wake Up Slap, and in comes the Watchog, and he's about to put out a double power Retaliate. Not a single Pokemon can take a crit from this on my team. So I sack the Patrat and go right back into Timber. Timber always will live a crit Retaliate here, and it's holding a Chesto Berry for the potential Hypnosis. It ends up just going for a Leer, and I hit it with Wake Up Slap. I'm in range of a crit Retaliate now here since my defense is down, so I go into Lillipup for the Plant Sack. Oshawott can then come in next and fire off a Razor Shell. Oshawott also can live a crit Retaliate, but Watchog just goes for Hypnosis here, which I prepared for with the Chesto Berry. I hit my Razor Shell, and I can receive the second badge. Even if Oshawott misses all of its Razor Shells and died, I could have brought my Timber back in and finished it off since it was still at full health. This battle was always guaranteed, it was just a matter of how many sacrifices I'd have to make. For my encounter for the other section of Pinwheel Forest, I get a Cottony, and I didn't know that this actually is not a different section from the other Pinwheel Forest, so in the future if I play through this game, I won't be counting it as a new location. Okay, let's fight Berg next. Berg is pretty simple though. My Pansear with max special attack and charcoal will always KO the Whirlipede with a Flame Burst. When Dwebble comes out, a combo of Eviolite, Timber, and Oshawott is more than enough to take it. And then when Leavanny comes back, I can just go into Pansear, who will always live 2 crits from the Leavanny no matter what it does, and finish it off in one hit with a Flame Burst. And that's Berg. My Route 4 encounter is a Darumaka, and I can actually ensure a Sandile as my Desert Resort encounter with Repels, which ensures that Yamask is my Relic Castle encounter. I can pick up the cover fossil, turn it into a Tortuga. Then, past Nimbasa City, my Route 16 encounter is a Minccino, and I shake the grass for another Element Monkey in Lost Lauren Forest. With all of these guys caught, it's time to take on Eliza. I start with Tortuga and she sends out her Emolga. I can just fire off a Choice Specs Ancient Power to kill the Emolga. Even if it went for Volt Switch, I have Sturdy, which will always live. When the second Emolga comes out, I can sack this Minccino for a free switch. It ends up living though, and Eliza just goes into her Zebstrika. But I can go into Sandile here, who is EV'd to live 2 crit flame charges or quick attacks, and they can fire off a Choice Banded Dig to KO the Zebstrika. The last Emolga comes out in the end, and I sack this Minccino for real this time. I go into Pansear. Pansear can live a crit Volt Switch or Aerial Ace and fire off a strong Choice Specs Flame Burst. It leaves it in the red though, and I bank on Eliza using a potion, which she does. Now with Hustle Darumaka, he's not always going to hit his attacks, so I need to have a backup plan, but I give my Darumaka a chance to save its own life, and it pulls through and kills Emolga with 1 Fire Punch, getting me the 4th badge. My next encounters are Gothita on Route 5, and a Ducklet on Driftville Drawbridge, which apparently I have no footage for, and then a Vanillite at the cold storage. Alright, let's take on Clay. I start out with my max special attack, max speed Ducklet with Choice Specs to kill the Krokorok in 1 hit with a Scald. When the Excadrill comes in, I need a free switch, so I get rid of my Gothita to give my Tortuga a free turn. 2 Choice Banded Aqua Jets will take Excadrill away, and Tortuga's Sturdy will ensure that I always get 2 hits in. Palpitoad comes in, but my Pansage can live any crits, so I can switch right into it and fire off a quad effective Seed Bomb. And that is the 5th badge. I can get a Deerling on Route 6, and then a Joltik in Chargestone Cave. Making my way past Miss Stralton, I can grab a Litwick too in the Celestial Tower. And now we have to face Skyla. I lead with my Cottony against her Swoobat. All I have to do here is get off 2 Cotton Spores so my Sandile can outspeed. I can ensure that I get 2 off with a Focus Sash. Once Cottony's dead, I can go into Sandile, and 1 Choice Banded Crunch is enough for Swoobat. It baits in the Swanna next, and I can sack Litwick for the free turn. I can go into Joltik next, outspeed, guarantee kill it in 1 hit with an Electro Ball, and when the Oon Pheasant comes in, I go directly into Vanillite. This Vanillite is actually EV'd to live the worst case scenario, which is a Leer into a quick attack crit. I can then outspeed with its Choice Scarf, and I can take it in 1 Ice Beam, and that's going to give me the 6th gym badge. Next, I get a Drillbur as my Twist Mountain encounter, and I get a Mienfoo as my Dragon Spiral encounter, and it's time to take on this ice guy here. Alright, so the only reason I'm using Darumaka here is because I need to make a sacrifice anyway, so I might as well give Darumaka a chance to redeem itself. I can actually hit my first Fire Punch through Hustle and kill the Vanillish. The first Fire Punch on the Beartic misses, and I get Swaggered. I hit myself in Confusion one time. I can live a brine, snap out of Confusion, and Darumaka takes the Beartic down. Kraganol comes out next, but Darumaka can outspeed, and there he goes. I can finish off the fight though with Mienfoo and get the 7th badge. On Route 8, I can get my most important encounter for the whole game, a Shelmet. And the reason why is because it has shell armor, and that's going to be super useful for the Elite Four. I can grab a Pawniard next on Route 9 and take on the final gym leader in Epilucid City. This fight is really simple though. All I have to do is lead with Ducklet. I have it pre-damaged so the Fracture always sees a kill on it. I can use Tailwind before it goes down and give Vanillite a free turn and all the Tailwind turns it needs to outspeed and finish off the rest of Drayden's team with Choice Specs Ice Beam. This is going to get me the last gym badge. I grab my last encounter that I need, a Vullaby, right after, make my way to the Pokemon League, and now it's time to challenge the Elite Four. This is the squad that I'm going in with. Everybody's EV trained and ready to go. The funny thing though about this Sandile is that it has a min speed nature and 0 speed IVs, which created a lot of problems when making plans for the Elite Four. But regardless, let's just get right into it. Bruno and Grimsley can both be cheesed by Shelmet. Since it has battle armor, it'll never get crit. So I can set up all the way with Iron Defense, stay healthy with Recovers, and I can Toxic Stall the whole team for both of them. I do have to go to Pawniard just one time when I'm fighting Grimsley, just because the Scrafty keeps using Sand Attack and I can't let him PP stall my Toxics out. So that's just there to reset the accuracy. These two guys are the only Elite Fours though that can be cheesed. The other ones require completely different strategies since my Shelmet is defensive. But we get 2 easy victories and move on to the next ones. I decide to take Chantal next, and I lead with my Eviolite Vullaby with max special defense and HP. And the goal here is to set up 3 nasty plots and then a Tailwind on the last turn. Cofagrigus can get a lot of special defense drops and then crit off of that, which can potentially ruin this whole strategy. I have Taunt for Will-O-Wisp, but throughout the fight it didn't seem to be useful at all because Cofagrigus never even went for it. I had to get a little bit lucky here at the end, live on low health, and get off that Tailwind. The Tailwind is only for the Chandelure, and since Tailwind lasts 3 turns, I don't actually have enough turns for the entire battle. Luckily though, the Chandelure gets lured in first because it has Fire Blast, which is the highest base power out of any Pokemon on the team. So I can take out the Chandelure while the Tailwind is active and outspeed the rest of his team and kill them all with Dark Pulse. That's going to be Chantal. Now comes the hardest of the Elite Four, the Psychic Girl. I'm going to lead with Pawniard here and equip it with a Focus Sash. The Reunculus sees a kill with both Thunder and Focus Blast, so it could go for either of those. A potential bad thing that could happen here is if Pawniard gets paralyzed by Thunder and stays paralyzed for that turn. Luckily, I don't get it. I can finish off the Reunculus with 2 Night Slashes. And the Gothitelle is baited out next. I can go directly into Sandile here though, which is immune to Psychic and Thunderbolt, and can live 2 crit Shadow Balls. Sandile is banded into Crunch, and actually has a few rolls that can kill the Gothitelle in 1 hit. Even with 3 times using Crunch, I don't get any of the rolls, but it doesn't matter anyway, because I can always finish and lure out this Sigilif. It's baited in here because of the Ice Beam, but since Sandow's on such low health, it can also see a kill with Air Slash. I go into my Vanillite here, and it actually does Air Slash. However, it doesn't crit, so I can outspeed with a Choice Scarf and kill it with Ice Beam. There's actually not that many rolls that kill with Ice Beam, so I plan to let Vanillite go down here and finish it off with Tortuga. So when the Marshana comes out, that's what I just have to do anyway to get a free switch into Tortuga. I can use a Crunch here with my Banded Tortuga, get it low, and now I can go back into Sandile here. Marshana's going to see a kill on Tortuga with almost all of its moves, so we can use anything. A Shadow Ball crit here can kill Sandile, but luckily it just chooses Charge Beam. I can outspeed and finish it with a Crunch. If my Sandile actually had more speed for this battle, I could have scarfed it and moxied my whole way through its team. So this fight could have been a lot easier with just a slightly better Sandile. But we defeat her anyway and move on to the N Getsus Gauntlet. Oh my god, it is finally time for the final battles. We're gonna lead with Volibee here just because they don't let you switch up your party order between the N and Getsus fight. We're gonna just go out from Volibee into Shelmet anyway. The goal here too is to PP stall the Zekrom out of all of its PP. The Mold Breaker type ability that Zekrom has actually goes right through Shelmet's battle armor, so he can actually get crit here. But Shelmet's so defensive anyway that Zekrom can't do anything to Shelmet. Once the Zekrom is all out of his PP, I can now safely go into a Tortuga, get 3 Shell Smashes off. But it's not actually over here though. Caracosta is in the back with Sturdy and Priority Aqua Jet. Let's say here, my Tortuga hits the Caracosta, brings it down to Sturdy, and N uses his Hyper Potion. Now I'm down to my Sturdy, and the Caracosta can go for an Aqua Jet and out-priority me. I can't just go for my Aqua Jet because my Aqua Jet doesn't kill in one hit. So, I need to play around this just a little bit. I need to get a little bit lucky. My Aqua Jet can roll over 50%, but not always, and it doesn't here either. I could have either used a combination of Crunch and Aqua Jet, or just 2 Aqua Jets. And in this situation, I decided not to go for Crunch because I wanted to keep the Caracosta out of healing range for sure. But I don't actually get the final Aqua Jet roll, and Tortuga goes down. I can actually finish off the end fight and win, but once Getsus comes around, that's it for me. There's nothing I can do here. I needed my Tortuga to have any chance of beating Getsus. Looking back, I feel like Crunch might have been the better option here. Probably would have given me a better chance to beat the Caracosta. But regardless, I had a really good run at this game. Doing the Little Lock was the most fun that I've ever had. And to answer the question, if it's possible to do a real run through this game, I think so, definitely. Yamask, though. Big shout out to Yamask, because he was a great pivot for random trainer battles. I give it max HP, split defenses, and with a Violite, it was able to 1v1 almost all random trainer Pokemon, and it makes this run a lot easier. Another thing I did forget and did not take advantage of is the red cards and eject buttons. Those can be both very useful for getting free switch-ins. If I ever do a run of this game again, I'm definitely going to use those. Well guys, thanks for watching. Like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Leave a like, drop a comment, hit the bell button, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode.